So let's say I wanted to pull in all the information that I possibly could based on this person's ID. I could type this Xlookup function another 4 times in order to get this other data that's available in the employee data table. Or I can use a variation of the Xlookup formula in order to do so. And let's do that now. So again, we start with the equal to sign, Xlookup, bracket open. My lookup value remains the same. It's again the person ID. My lookup array is again the same. Make sure you press the F4 sign here to get your dollar signs in place. Never forget that with a VLOOKUP or an XLOOKUP. And now in my return array, instead of selecting one column of data, I'm going to select all the 4 columns of data. So always make sure you start off with a cell in the same row as the first value in your lookup array. So my first value was in A2. So I'm going to start off with row number 2 in the city column as well. And I'm ending at the end of all the values which are possibly able to be extracted from this table, which is in the 4th column from here. So I have the city, the sales target, product line, and team size. Again, I'm going to press an F4 and I close my bracket and the magic happens. As you can see over here, Xlookup has brilliantly pulled in all of these values on its own without having to type the formula again and again. And now I can just drag this down and I have my data for all the person IDs over here. One thing of note that every time Xlookup does this, you will see that in the first cell where you wrote the formula will appear as a dark black, but the cells which have been auto-populated basis your formula will show the formula in a lighter gray color. And this is just to indicate that this is not where the main formula resides, it resides in this cell. And you can even see this being indicated by this blue box that all of these 4 cells are tied together through one formula. And that's a beautiful feature that Xlookup provides us. But now, this seems to be a very clean data set and I see absolutely no errors in it. But let's see what happens when I have a person whose name does not appear in my employee data. So let me just change this to some other random number. And you can see that this name does not appear in my employee data sheet. And therefore, I'm getting these error signs. So this is what happens that when the function cannot find a value, it gives this default hash NA value. And if you recall from our syntax, Xlookup actually has a parameter which is optional that you can pass if a value is not found. So let's go ahead and type that over here. So I'm going to just type not found in quotes because it's a text string. And now instead of getting an unclean hash NA value, I get a clean value called not found. So this is one way to use the not found parameter. For the people who have been using Excel for a long time, you would be aware that this is how we would get around this requirement by encapsulating our VLOOKUP function in an if-error formula. But Xlookup has this feature inbuilt, which I would say is a godsend for most of us. So let me just undo this and go back to our clean data. And we have reached the end of performing a VLOOKUP, which is a vertical lookup on our data set. So a vertical lookup is done when your lookup values and your return values are available in a vertical list. So they are listed up to down. And congratulations on learning how to do a VLOOKUP using Xlookup.